Today we're going to go over polishing windshields. I know this kind of looks clear, but it's not even remotely clear. If you have a plastic windshield on a boat, snowmobile, motorcycle, side-by-side, ATV, anything with a plastic windshield, you know they get all scuffed up and scratched up. And this one's virtually, I can't even use it up. You know, there's 4,782 scratches per square inch, and it just glares off the sun. I mean, I can barely see you guys through there. The camera might be picking it up better, so it sits down for the whole year. But it's winter time, so I want to use it up. So I'm going to show you how quickly polish this, and so it's virtually new. Takes no effort. Let's do it. Hosed it off the other day, but there's still some water spots. So the first thing to do is just to clean all the dust and stuff off of it, because we're going to polish it. You don't want to grind all the dust into it. Oh, you can just see the scratches everywhere. Okay, you can do all of this with a drill, but let me talk just a second. Hear me out. So this is a variable speed angle grinder slash polisher. So it's not an angle grinder. An angle grinder does 10,000 RPMs, and that is way too fast. This is variable speed. I run it around 2,500 RPMs. Between 2,000 and 2,500 RPM is where I like to run this buffing wheel. So we're just going to buff the plastic. This is an 8-inch buffing wheel. Now, if you want to use a drill, you can. Those also spin at about 2,000 RPM, which is the same that you'd spin this. The problem is, if you buy a buffer wheel for your drill, you do not want a teeny little 4-inch buffer wheel. This spinning at 2,000 RPM versus this, the surface speed, because it's a larger diameter, is probably about 4 times faster than this. This just moves too slow, so you won't actually, you'll burn holes in your plastic. You'll melt the plastic because you're trying to get it to do something. So if you do have to use one with a drill, like this is just an arbor adapter in here that I picked up probably from Amazon, maybe from Lowe's or something. I'll put a link to one of these, and then I just stack some washers, and you can make it fit something this big. Yes, this is big on here, but it'll do it. And that is about the only way you can do something, a large surface like a windshield. So I'll put links to all these things. This is this is like a medium buffing wheels. I'll put links to everything, but there's one thing that you need to use, the buffing compound you need to use. Don't use a plastic buffing compound because they just don't cut good enough. What you want to use is brown triple E. Tri-Poly, T-R-I-P-O-L-I. I'll put a link below. It works fantastic for plastics, and this is about all you need. You know, this is what is this, 2 pounds of it? Lasts forever. You can buy little teeny sticks of it. It's probably one of the most common polishing buffing compounds out there. It's also consequently the same thing you would use to polish aluminum. So if you want to have shiny aluminum, like aluminum rims or something, this is also the first step to this, and this does 99% of the work. So we're going to take our variable speed polisher with a buffing wheel on it. I'll get my Tri-Poly, and we'll get out there and we'll start buffing it. We're going to load up the buffing wheel, which is just smearing a little bit on. You're not caking it. You're just... I should see a light tinge of it on there. You can't really see it, but it's just barely on there. And I'm going to start buffing. My buffing wheel spins this way, so I want to come off this edge. I don't want to catch it, because you'll catch it and just pull it right out of your hand. So let's do it. You.
I flipped, I put it on its side.
Okay, I've done a third of the windshield, inside and out. Took me 2 minutes, and I don't know if you can see the left side compared to the right side. See? You can't see out of that at all. That's it. It is 95% clear. There are some scratches from the polishing compound, and it could be because I'm not using a brand new wheel, but we can take care of that in a second as well. But I mean, look at that difference. You see that? You can see right through that. It's beautiful. That right there is why I don't ever use it. So I'm going to continue polishing. Now if you have a scratch, I don't know if you can see some of these, that you can actually feel, you're not going to get that out because you're going to have to bring the whole surface, you know, this far away into it to not notice it. So if you just try to burn out that scratch and polish it out, you're going to end up with waves. So you're going to end up with a ripple, which is more annoying than just having a light scratch. So you're not going to take out super deep scratches if you can feel them with your nail. That one probably will come out. All these, I don't know if you can see, all these will come out. So if while you're polishing you notice that you're leaving a scratch and not just a grease mark, because this is essentially like grease, like really, it's like a fatty something mixed with an abrasive. If it picks up a rock or something, it can carry it around and you can continually sit there and you'll actually add scratches. So you got to watch in the reflection what you're polishing, because if you start adding little scratches, you need to clean your wheel, and you use what's usually called like a rake. Looks like this. You could also just run this on a sharp edge of something. You could run probably even like a 2x4 or something just to break it off. You could run it on the edge of, you know, your plexiglass if it doesn't matter that much, if you don't really care, just to clean off and scrape off any old residual polishing compound that may have some debris in it, and then you can reapply this. You see these little lines right here? That's from me. That's because I picked up something in the buffing compound, you know. And a windshield that sits in mud and dirt, it's impossible. You know, I could have picked it up. I could have picked it up from the strap up here, or just right from the edge. But now I got to go back after I just barely brushed everything off of it. And now I can go back and just lightly touch it and try to clean those up. It's kind of, this can be a handful. So you got to make sure you hold on to it tight. This drill actually has a handle, and it'd probably be better with that handle. But just make sure, I mean, if this grabbed onto you, it's not going to hurt you. You could also even put your clutch on if you wanted on a drill. So if it did catch, now, I don't have an unscrew. You know, you wouldn't jerk it out of your hand. So now we're going to switch out the buffing pad. So this is a medium buffing pad. It's just how stiff it is for a super soft one. And I'm going to use the same E polishing compound. I do have other finer polishing compounds, but I find they really don't do much of anything. And I'll tell you this, okay? Your very first cut, this is going to get it 90%. And I think this windshield took me about 15 minutes, okay? I can spend another 3 hours trying to get that last, 4 or 5%, and you're not going to really notice it. And the first time you go out, the first time you try to wipe mud off of it, all the scratches are going to be right there. So I'll put links to the finer polishes if you really want to try, but you're going to waste a ton of time that's not really worth it. And there's another step we can do after this that's quick and easy that covers up a lot of those super fine like haze. You can't even really see it unless you get right in the right light. But now I'm going to take the super fine polishing compound and just a little bit of E, and I'm just going to go over it with just barely touching it. I'm just polishing it now. I'm not, when I was using this, I'm bending into it a good amount, probably about this much, flexing over the pad, putting some decent pressure on there. And now I'm just going to barely just float across the top of it and polish out any little scratches that I might have put in with this and just make it beautiful. Okay, 2 products now that you don't have to use after this. They will make it better. You can use these anytime. First, this. It's actually like an acrylic cleaner called Brilliantize. I'll put a link below to this stuff. It works really good. Helps take out just a little bit of glaze or a little bit of haziness of scratches that are kind of embedded really deep into the plastic. So this stuff, but then also Rain-X for plastics. You can't use regular Rain-X on plastic. Rain-X for plastics, and I'm going to use both of them. So I'm going to show you this, and this helps keep it clean. I mean, technically I don't think you should ever use anything but acrylic cleaner. You should never really use glass cleaner on stuff like this, but sometimes you just use what you have sitting around. This stuff is weird. It kind of beads up, this Brilliantize, but it's supposedly anti-static. It's taking all these fuzzies from my buffing wheel. Let's work this in. All cleaned up with the special cleaner. Not perfect, I'll tell you that. You know, I put a couple little marks. You know, the problem is I'm pulling up some dirt embedded in this while I'm polishing, you know, some down in here. So I put a couple little scuffs, but I mean, it's there. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit, but I mean, it looks fantastic. It looks like a windshield. I would not hesitate to have that up and actually use that. And now I'll put some Rain-X on it, and that'll just keep it clean and the water beading up on it a little bit better. I don't think you guys can actually get this in store. I'll put a link below. I had to special order it from Amazon. It was dirt cheap, like $6 a bottle, something like that. Same with that Brilliant Eyes stuff, pretty dirt cheap, $10. That's probably $12 a bottle, something like that. Cheap stuff. I don't think you can get either one at a local store. So, wanna go for a ride? Want the ball too? Okay, go get in. Come on, let's do this. Go over there. Move over. Oh yeah, you're excited. Nope. Yep. Is it dead? Let's go. Oh, those sure are some dirty safety glasses. If you guys want to support the dogs with Clean Safety Glasses Foundation, watch this video right here and help Clean Safety Glasses for Dogs. Don't want to miss it.